Alright, hi guys, let's talk about cellular respiration. Cellular respiration is a process in which energy is generated in cells. In cellular respiration, glucose, which you'll remember is made during photosynthesis, and oxygen are combined or are converted into carbon dioxide, water, and ATP, which is adenosine triphosphate. That's another fancy word for energy. This process begins in the cytoplasm of a cell and then moves into the mitochondria. Cellular respiration can be represented using this equation. If you are paying really close attention to the chemical formulas in this chapter, you'll notice that this one is the exact opposite of the photosynthesis equation. For the complete breakdown of a glucose molecule, oxygen is required. This is called an aerobic reaction when oxygen is not available, but glucose still needs to be broken down. It can be done through anaerobic respiration. This is a process that does not require oxygen. The prefix "an" means without, aerobic means with oxygen, so without oxygen. Aerobic obviously means with oxygen. Aerobic respiration does not require oxygen, but it doesn't produce as much energy. So we're still breaking down the glucose molecule, just not as much, and we don't get as much energy from it. Fermentation is another name for this anaerobic process. It happens when oxygen is not available, but energy is still needed. They will undergo fermentation. And this allows the cell to incompletely break down that glucose. Okay, we're breaking it down, just not as well, and we're not getting as much energy from it. Animals undergo lactic acid fermentation. It's called this because lactic acid is produced. That's what makes your muscles hurt. That's why you get a stitch in your side when you run faster and harder than you normally do. Sorry guys, that's Daisy. I think she saw a squirrel in the yard. Plants and organisms like plants, like yeast or bacteria, they will undergo alcoholic fermentation. It's called this because it produces ethyl alcohol. This is the process used to make alcohol, to make bread, to make sauerkraut, to make lots and lots of food substances that we eat. Let's compare photosynthesis and cellular respiration. Photosynthesis is the process by which plants use light from the sun to make glucose or food. After the photosynthesis happens, the cells use that food, use that glucose in cellular respiration and turn it into energy that the plant can actually use. Right? Animals also undergo cellular respiration. Okay? Photosynthesis has to happen before respiration, because you got to make the molecule before you can break it down for energy. Both involve a specific organelle. Photosynthesis takes place inside the chloroplast, which contain chlorophyll. That's the pigment that absorbs the sunlight. Cellular respiration takes place inside the mitochondria. If you compare the structure of mitochondria and chloroplast, they're very similar. They both have a double membrane, which separates them from the rest of the cell. Photosynthesis, the energy comes from sunlight and is converted into glucose. In respiration, glucose is used to make usable energy that the organism will use to survive. Photosynthesis takes carbon dioxide from the air, water from the roots, and sunlight to make sugar. After this happens, oxygen gas is released back into the air. Cellular respiration takes sugar and combines them with oxygen to release energy as ATP. ATP is the form of energy that cells use, and carbon dioxide and water are released. So you'll notice that the products of photosynthesis are the reactants of cellular respiration. Okay? The products of one become the reactants of the other. And just a little tidbit for your information. Transpiration is the loss of water vapor by plants through their stomata. That is actually how plants get water from the roots. It acts like a giant soda straw, right? So water down here at the roots is sucked up through the xylem, Z-Y-L-E-M, and it's like a giant soda straw that goes from the roots all the way to the tippy top of the leaves. And when one water molecule evaporates out the stomata, it pulls another one up from the roots. If you want to see how much transpiration happens in a plant, just simply cover a leaf or a stem with a plastic bag, all right, and secure it, and then wait 24 hours. You'll notice that a lot of water is released that way. And here are the resources from the PowerPoint. And that is it, guys. If you have any questions,